Hell's Kitchen, New York City. The Great Depression crushes America. Bread lines stretch for blocks. Men in torn coats beg for work. Families sleep in doorways. Banks close every week. Hope dies a little more each day. But in Hell's Kitchen, business continues as usual. The neighborhood sits on Manhattan's West Side, running from 34th Street to 59th Street, from 8th Avenue to the Hudson River. Tenement buildings rise like dirty teeth against the gray sky. Smoke pours from factory chimneys. The smell of the meatpacking district hangs in the air, blood and sweat. That is Hell's Kitchen, and the Irish own every inch of it. The O'Rourke brothers control these streets: Donnie, Sean, and Willie. 3 brothers from County Cork who arrived 20 years ago with nothing but their fists and their hatred. Now they run the docks, the bars, the gambling dens, the protection rackets. Every longshoreman pays them tribute. Every shop owner knows their names. Every cop looks the other way. Donnie O'Rourke is the eldest. 42 years old, smart, careful. He handles the negotiations, the politics, the relationships with Tammany Hall. He wears expensive suits now. Drinks imported whiskey. But his eyes remain cold. The eyes of a man who has buried many enemies. Sean O'Rourke is the middle brother. 38, the diplomat. He talks to the other gangs, maintains the peace, knows when to smile and when to threaten. His handshake can mean friendship or death. Willie O'Rourke is the youngest, 34, the enforcer. Where his brothers use words, Willie uses violence. He enjoys it. The neighborhood children cross the street when they see him coming. Mothers pull their babies close. Willie likes that. Fear is respect in Hell's Kitchen. Together, the O'Rourke brothers command over 50 men, Irish immigrants, dock workers, former soldiers, men who know how to use their hands and keep their mouths shut. For 20 years, nobody has challenged them. But something is changing in New York. The Italians are rising. They came from Sicily, from Naples, from Calabria. They settled in Little Italy, in East Harlem, in the Bronx. They started with small things: olive oil importing, garbage collection, produce markets. The Irish laughed at them, called them names that cut deep: Dagos, guineas, greaseballs. The Irish saw the Italians as peasants, farmers who did not understand American ways, men who spoke broken English and ate strange food. Not a threat, just another wave of immigrants to exploit. But the Italians had something the Irish did not understand. They had families, real families, bound by blood and honor and codes older than America itself. They did not fight for territory. They fought for respect. They did not forget insults. They remembered everything. One name rises above the others: Vito Corleone. He lives in the Bronx now, in a compound on Mall Street. He runs the Genco Pura Olive Oil Company. A legitimate business, the authorities say. Import and distribution. Nothing illegal. The Irish know better. Vito Corleone is building an empire. His reach extends into politics, into unions, into the police department itself. Judges take his money. Politicians seek his endorsement. His network grows larger every month. Willie O'Rourke first hears the name in a Hell's Kitchen bar. An Irish dock worker mentions it with something that sounds like respect. Willie does not like that sound. He asks around, learns about this Vito Corleone, an immigrant from some village in Sicily, arrived in New York as a boy, worked in a grocery store, started stealing with 2 friends named Clemenza and Tessio, killed some black-hand extortionist named Fanucci back in 1920. Willie laughs when he hears the story. 1 killing, 1 dead extortionist, and now this olive oil peddler thinks he is somebody. Willie O'Rourke stands in his brother's bar on 10th Avenue. A dozen Irish soldiers surround him. The whiskey flows. The smoke hangs thick. Willie raises his glass. You know what I hear? I hear the Dagos think they run this city now. I hear some greaseball named Corleone thinks he is important. The men laugh. They always laugh at Willie's jokes. Willie continues. His voice carries across the bar. Vito Corleone, the olive oil man, let me tell you something about this Dago. He is good for nothing. You hear me? A Dago, good for nothing. He sells cooking oil to housewives. That is his empire. Cooking oil. More laughter. Glasses raised. If this Corleone ever sets foot in Hell's Kitchen, I will personally teach him what happens to Dagos who forget their place. The Irish built this city. The Irish run this city. and no guinea from some Sicilian village is going to change that. Willie drains his whiskey, slams the glass down. Vito Corleone. Remember that name, boys, because one day soon we might have to remind him who really runs New York. The bar erupts in cheers. What Willie O'Rourke does not know, what none of them know, 3 blocks away, in a parked car, a man watches the bar. He reports everything he sees, everything he hears. The report reaches Vito Corleone by morning, and standing behind Vito when he reads it is a man the Irish have never met, a man whose name they will learn soon enough, a man who has killed more people than the entire O'Rourke gang combined. His name is Luca Brasi, and he is listening. The news travels fast in the underworld. Giuseppe Mariposa hears about Vito Corleone's growing power before most. He sits in his office on the Lower East Side, surrounded by expensive furniture and armed guards. Mariposa is 53 years old. He has controlled the largest crime organization in New York for over a decade. He answers to no one. He fears no one. But Vito Corleone concerns him. Mariposa built his empire on fear and violence. He crushed his rivals, eliminated his enemies, bought politicians and judges like groceries. For years, he was the unquestioned boss of bosses, the man every other family answered to. Now that power slips away, slowly, month by month. Vito Corleone does not challenge him directly. That is not the Sicilian way. Instead, Corleone builds relationships, creates alliances, offers favors that people remember. He loans money without demanding interest. He solves problems without demanding payment. He treats people with respect, and they love him for it. Mariposa watches his influence shrink. Politicians who once took his calls now take Corleone's calls first. Union leaders who once obeyed him now consult with Corleone before making decisions. Even some of his own men speak of the Corleone family with admiration. This cannot continue. Mariposa summons Emilio Barzini to his office. Barzini is 45, ambitious, intelligent. He runs his own organization in Midtown Manhattan. He understands politics better than most. The two men sit across from each other, crystal glasses of wine between them. The door closed, guards outside. Mariposa speaks first. His voice is soft, almost gentle, the voice of a man who never needs to raise it. Vito Corleone is becoming a problem. Barzini nods. He has thought the same thing for months. He is careful, Barzini says. He never moves against you directly. He simply grows, like a vine climbing a wall, slowly, patiently. One day the wall belongs to the vine. Mariposa's jaw tightens. I want him removed. Barzini considers this. Removing Vito Corleone is not simple. The man has powerful friends, loyal soldiers. His compound in the Bronx is a fortress. His bodyguard, Luca Brasi, is a one-man army. If we move against him openly, Barzini says, the other families will object. Corleone has done nothing to justify war. He pays tribute. He respects the old ways. Attacking him would make us look like tyrants. Mariposa already knows this. He has considered the problem for weeks, and he has found a solution. We do not attack him. Someone else does. Barzini raises an eyebrow. Who? The Irish. Silence fills the room. Barzini understands immediately. The Irish gangs of Hell's Kitchen have no connection to the Italian families. They operate separately, follow different rules. If the Irish kill Vito Corleone, no one can blame Mariposa. No one can prove involvement. It would look like an ethnic conflict. Irish against Italians, nothing to do with business. The O'Rourke brothers, Barzini says. They control Hell's Kitchen. They hate Italians. They would enjoy killing one of ours. Mariposa smiles. It is not a pleasant smile. Make contact. Offer them money. Whatever they want. I need Vito Corleone dead before the year ends. Barzini stands. He knows what must be done. 3 days later, he sends a message to Hell's Kitchen. The meeting takes place in a warehouse near the docks. Midnight. No witnesses. Barzini arrives with 2 bodyguards. The O'Rourke brothers arrive with 6. Donnie O'Rourke does the talking. He sits across from Barzini at a wooden table. A single lamp hangs overhead. Shadows cover their faces. You want us to kill an Italian, Donnie says. That is unusual. Your people usually handle your own problems. Barzini chooses his words carefully. This is a business matter, nothing personal. The man in question has become troublesome. His removal would benefit everyone, including your organization. Willie O'Rourke leans forward. His eyes shine in the dim light. "Who is the target?" "Vito Corleone." The brothers exchange glances. They know the name. Everyone knows the name now. Sean O'Rourke speaks. "Corleone has soldiers, lots of them. He has that animal, Luca Brasi, protecting him. This is not some simple job, which is why we are prepared to pay generously." Barzini places a briefcase on the table, opens it. Stacks of cash fill the interior. More money than most men see in a lifetime. $50,000. Half now, half when the job is complete. Willie O'Rourke stares at the money. His mouth twists into a grin. 50 grand for one olive oil salesman? 50,000 for removing a problem. Quietly, permanently, no connection to us. Donnie O'Rourke thinks, this is serious money, depression money, enough to expand their operations, enough to secure their territory for years. But he is cautious. Corleone is protected. Luca Brasi alone is worth 10 men. How do you expect us to get close? Barzini has anticipated this question. Brasi is one man, dangerous, yes, but he cannot be everywhere. He cannot protect Corleone every moment. Find the weakness, exploit it. You are professionals. That is why we came to you. Willie O'Rourke laughs. The sound echoes in the empty warehouse. You want to know the truth? I have been waiting for a reason to kill some Dagos. No offense, Barzini, but your people have been pushing into our territory for years, taking our dock workers, opening businesses in our neighborhood, acting like they belong here. He leans back, crosses his arms. We will do it, not for the money, though we will take the money. We will do it because it is time someone reminded the Italians who built this city. Donnie O'Rourke nods slowly. The decision is made. We need time, a few weeks. We will watch Corleone, learn his patterns, find the right moment. Barzini closes the briefcase, leaves half the money on the table. Take whatever time you need. Just make sure it happens, and make sure nothing connects back to us. He stands. The meeting is over. As Barzini walks toward the door, Willie O'Rourke calls after him. That bodyguard, Luca Brasi. How tough is he really? Barzini pauses, considers the question. I have heard stories, many stories. They say he once killed 2 men sent to eliminate him. He caught them with his bare hands. What he did to them, the details are unpleasant. One of them died from fear before Brasi even touched him. Willie O'Rourke smiles. He is not impressed. Stories, that is all they are. Big dumb Italian. I have handled bigger, I have handled tougher. Brasi bleeds like anyone else. Barzini says nothing. He simply nods and walks into the night. The O'Rourkes begin their surveillance the next day. They watch the Genco Pura Olive Oil Company. They follow Corleone's trucks. They map his movements between the Bronx and Manhattan. They see Luca Brasi walking beside Vito Corleone. A massive man, slow-moving, expressionless. Sean O'Rourke reports back to his brothers. The big one is always with him, never more than 10 feet away. He looks slow, stupid even, like a trained dog. Willie O'Rourke nods. Then we put down the dog first. After that, the master is easy. The brothers develop their plan, simple and direct, Irish style. First, they will attack Brasi's operation, draw him out, wound him or kill him. Then, with the bodyguard eliminated, they will strike at Corleone himself. Clean, professional, final. What the O'Rourke brothers do not understand, what they cannot understand. Luca Brasi is not slow. He is patient. Luca Brasi is not stupid. He is waiting. And Luca Brasi is not a dog. He is something far worse. Willie O'Rourke does not wait long. 2 weeks after the warehouse meeting, he gathers his most trusted men. 6 Irish soldiers, hard men from the docks, men who have spilled blood before and will spill it again. The target is a gambling den in Little Italy, a basement operation on Mulberry Street. The place belongs to Luca Brasi. His men run the card games. His men collect the debts. Every night, thousands of dollars change hands in that basement. Willie's plan is simple. Hit the gambling den. Kill whoever resists. Send a message. If Luca Brasi responds, they will be ready. If Luca Brasi does not respond, they will know he is a coward. Either way, the Irish win. The night is cold. February wind cuts through the streets of Lower Manhattan. Snow piles in dirty mounds along the sidewalks. The city sleeps. Willie O'Rourke and his men approach the building from 2 directions, 3 from the front, 3 from the alley. They wear dark coats. They carry pistols and shotguns beneath the fabric. The gambling den sits below street level. Stone steps lead down to a metal door. A single guard stands outside. He smokes a cigarette. He does not see the shadows moving toward him. Willie gives the signal. Two of his men grab the guard. A hand covers his mouth. A blade presses against his throat. He goes still. They drag him into the alley. Willie descends the steps. His men follow. The metal door is locked. Willie nods to a large Irishman named Patrick. Patrick raises his boot. Kicks. The door explodes inward. Inside, chaos. The basement is filled with smoke and noise. 20 men sit at tables, cards in their hands, money stacked before them. They look up in shock as the Irish pour through the doorway. Willie O'Rourke raises 2 pistols, one in each hand. Nobody move. This is a message for Luca Brasi. He fires. The shots echo in the confined space. Glass shatters, tables overturn, men scramble for cover. Some reach for weapons, most simply run. Willie's men spread through the room. They smash tables, scatter money, beat anyone too slow to escape. 2 of Brasi's soldiers try to fight back. They pull pistols from their belts. They never get the chance to aim. Willie puts bullets in both of them. Shoulder, leg, not fatal, but they will not fight again tonight. The raid lasts less than 3 minutes. Willie O'Rourke stands in the center of the destroyed gambling den. Smoke rises from his pistols. His men gather around him. They are breathing hard, grinning. "Let us go," Willie says, "before the police arrive." They vanish into the night, back to Hell's Kitchen, back to safety. By morning, the news spreads through the underworld. The Irish hit Luca Brasi's operation, wounded 2 of his men, destroyed his gambling den, walked away without a scratch. In Hell's Kitchen, the O'Rourke brothers celebrate. Their bar on 10th Avenue fills with Irish soldiers. Whiskey flows. Songs rise. Willie O'Rourke stands on a table, raising his glass. "We did it, boys. We walked into Brasi's place and burned it to the ground. Where was the big man? Where was the monster everyone fears? Hiding, that is where. The great Luca Brasi is nothing but a coward. Cheers, shake the rafters. This is just the beginning. Next, we take the olive oil man himself, Vito Corleone, the Dago who thinks he is somebody. We will show him what the Irish do to those who forget their place. More cheers, more whiskey, more songs. The celebration continues until dawn. In the Bronx, the atmosphere is different. Vito Corleone sits in his study. The room is dark. A single lamp burns on his desk. Tom Hagen stands nearby. Clemenza and Tessio wait by the door. The news has reached them. Tom Hagen speaks first. The Irish hit Brasi's gambling operation. 2 of his men are wounded. The place is destroyed. Vito says nothing. His face reveals nothing. Clemenza's voice carries anger. We should respond immediately. Hit their bar, hit their docks. Show them what happens when they attack us. Tessio nods in agreement. If we do nothing, we look weak. Other families will notice. They will think they can move against us too. Vito raises his hand. Silence falls. We do nothing. The words hang in the air. Clemenza starts to object. But Godfather... Nothing. Vito's voice is soft but final. The Irish want us to respond with emotion. They want a street war, shootings and bombings and police attention. That is their way, not ours. He stands, walks to the window, looks out at the dark streets of the Bronx. We wait, we watch, we let them think they have won, and when the time is right, we respond in our own way. Tom Hagen understands. He has seen this before. Vito Corleone never acts from anger. He acts from calculation. "What about Luca?" Tom asks. Vito turns. His eyes are cold. "Send him to me, tonight, alone." The meeting between Vito Corleone and Luca Brasi happens after midnight. No one else is present. No one knows what they discuss. The conversation lasts less than 10 minutes. When it ends, Luca Brasi walks out of the compound and disappears into the night. His eyes have changed. Something has awakened behind them. 48 hours later, Willie O'Rourke dies. The youngest O'Rourke brother is walking home from a card game. Alone, drunk, confident. He passes through an alley near the docks, the same route he has taken 100 times before. A shadow move. Willie reaches for his pistol. His fingers never touch the grip. Luca Brasi emerges from the darkness. What happens next takes less than 30 seconds. There are no witnesses, no sounds that anyone remembers, just a brief scuffle, then silence. When the sun rises, Dock workers find Willie O'Rourke's body. The police report lists no cause, no weapon recovered, no suspects identified. The coroner notes only that death came quickly. The details remain sealed. But the underworld knows. Everyone knows. Luca Brasi killed Willie O'Rourke with his bare hands. The news devastates the O'Rourke family. Willie was the youngest, the enforcer, the one who kept enemies afraid. But Luca Brasi is not finished. 3 nights later, Donnie O'Rourke vanishes. The eldest brother, the leader, the brains behind the operation. He walks out of his apartment on 10th Avenue. He never arrives at his destination. They find him the next morning, alive, sitting on a bench in Central Park, staring at nothing. Donnie O'Rourke cannot see. His eyes are undamaged. The doctors find no injury, no disease, no explanation. But Donnie O'Rourke will never see again. Whatever Luca Brasi did to him, whatever horror he forced Donnie to witness, it destroyed something inside his mind. The message is clear. Death would have been mercy. Luca Brasi does not offer mercy. With Willie dead and Donnie broken, the Irish gang falls into chaos. Sean O'Rourke, the middle brother, lacks the strength to lead. He drinks more, talks less, jumps at shadows. A man named Peter Murray steps forward. He is 40 years old, a dock boss with a reputation for violence. He rallies the remaining Irish soldiers, 50 men who still believe they can win. Murray stands in the 10th Avenue bar, the same bar where Willie celebrated his raid. The mood is different now. Fear hangs in the air like smoke. The Dagos think they can scare us, Murray says. They send their monster to pick us off one by one. Willie is gone. Donnie is gone. But we are not finished. We are Irish. We do not run. We do not hide. He slams his fist on the bar. We finish what we started. We kill Vito Corleone. Not in secret. Not in some alley. We kill him in public, in front of the whole city. We show everyone what happens when you cross the Irish. The men around him nod. They are scared, but they are also angry, and anger makes men do foolish things. Murray begins planning the attack. The target, Vito Corleone himself. The location, the Italian-American parade through Manhattan. The method, 6 shooters, positioned along the route, firing simultaneously. No one could survive such an attack, not even with Luca Brasi standing beside him. What Peter Murray does not understand. Luca Brasi knows everything. He has informants everywhere. He knows about the meeting. He knows about the plan. He knows about the parade. And he is already preparing his response. Not for defense, for annihilation. Spring arrives in New York City. The snow melts. The sun warms the streets. And the Italian-American community prepares for its greatest celebration of the year. The parade begins at noon on a Saturday in April. Thousands gather along 5th Avenue, families in their finest clothes, children waving small flags, old women crossing themselves as the procession passes. This is their day. A day to celebrate heritage, to honor the old country, to show America that Italian immigrants belong. Floats decorated with red, white, and green creep along the avenue. Marching bands play traditional songs. Politicians wave from convertibles. Business leaders smile for photographers. And in the center of it all, riding on a float covered in flowers, sits Vito Corleone. He wears a dark suit, a white carnation in his lapel. His wife Carmela sits beside him, elegant in a blue dress. They wave to the crowd. They smile. They look like any prosperous immigrant family celebrating their success. But Vito Corleone is not any immigrant. Along the parade route, his soldiers watch from rooftops and street corners. Tom Hagen coordinates from a car 3 blocks away. Clemenza and Tessio position their men at key intersections. And walking beside the float, never more than 5 feet from Vito, moves Luca Brasi. The big man wears a heavy coat despite the warm weather. Underneath, a vest of reinforced steel covers his chest. His eyes scan the crowd constantly. He sees everything, misses nothing. Vito's children watch from the sidewalk. Sonny, 18 years old, stands with his arm around his girlfriend. He is tall now, handsome, eager to join the family business. Fredo, 14, waves excitedly at his father. Michael, 13, watches quietly. Even at his age, there is something observant about him, something calculating. Little Connie, just 10 years old, jumps up and down, trying to see over the adults in front of her. The parade moves slowly, block after block. The crowd cheers. No one notices the 6 men positioning themselves along the route. Peter Murray has planned this attack for weeks. His shooters are spread across 4 blocks, 2 on rooftops, 2 in windows, 2 in the crowd itself, all armed with pistols, all waiting for the signal. Sean O'Rourke crouches on a rooftop at 52nd Street. His hands shake slightly. He thinks about his brothers. Willie, dead. Donnie, blind. He grips his pistol tighter. Stevie Dwyer positions himself in a 3rd-floor window. He is the best shot among them. His target is clear. Vito Corleone's head. Rick and Billy stand in the crowd, hidden among the spectators. Their pistols rest under their coats. They will fire when the shooting starts. Add to the chaos. Bobby Corcoran waits in an alley. He is nervous, sweating. He drank too much last night. His hands will not stop trembling. Cor Gibson sits in a car 2 blocks away. His job is simple. When the shooting stops, he drives the escape vehicle. Get the shooters out. Disappear into Queens. The float carrying Vito Corleone approaches 52nd Street. Peter Murray watches from a doorway. He raises his hand. The signal. Everything happens at once. Gunfire erupts from multiple directions. The sound tears through the celebration like thunder. Screaming begins immediately. The crowd surges in panic. People fall. People run. Children cry out for their parents. Stevie Dwyer fires from his window. The bullet misses Vito by inches, shattering a wooden decoration on the float. Sean O'Rourke fires from the rooftop. His shot goes wide, hits a banner. Rick and Billy pull their pistols. Fire into the chaos. They hit nothing but air. Bobby Corcoran stumbles from the alley. His vision blurs from last night's whiskey. He sees the float, sees a large figure moving, raises his pistol, fires. The bullet strikes Vito Corleone in the left shoulder. Vito falls backward. Blood blooms on his white shirt. Carmela screams. More shots ring out. One hits Vito in the chest, another in the arm, a 4th grazes his ribs, a 5th buries itself in his hip. 5 bullets, 5 wounds. Luca Brasi moves faster than anyone expects. He throws himself over Vito's body, covers him completely. 3 bullets slam into Brasi's back. The steel vest stops them all. Corleone's soldiers return fire. Chaos becomes war. Bullets fly in every direction. Stevie Dwyer takes a round in the shoulder, falls back from his window. Sean O'Rourke scrambles across the rooftop, disappearing into a stairwell. Rick is hit in the leg. Billy drags him toward the escape car. Bobby Corcoran stands frozen in the street. He stares at the blood spreading on Vito Corleone's chest. He was supposed to hit Luca Brasi. He hit the wrong man. The shooting lasts 45 seconds. Then silence falls. The parade route transforms into a battlefield. Bodies on the ground, wounded crying for help, shell casings scattered across the pavement. Luca Brasi lifts Vito Corleone in his arms. The Godfather's eyes are closed. Blood soaks his suit. His breathing is shallow. Barely there. A car appears. Tom Hagen behind the wheel. Luca places Vito in the back seat, climbs in beside him. "Hospital," Luca says. Now, the car speeds away. Behind them, the Irish shooters scatter. Cor Gibson drives the escape vehicle through side streets. The survivors disappear into the city. Peter Murray watches from his doorway. He counts the shots, counts the wounds, smiles. No man survives 5 bullets. Vito Corleone is dead. The news spreads through New York like fire. Within an hour, every crime family knows. Every politician, every police captain, every judge who ever took Corleone money. Vito Corleone was shot at the Italian-American parade. Multiple wounds, not expected to survive. In Hell's Kitchen, the celebration begins. Peter Murray stands in the 10th Avenue bar. Irish soldiers pack the room. Whiskey bottles line the counter. Murray raises his glass. To Willie O'Rourke, to Donnie O'Rourke. Today we avenged our brothers. Today we killed the great Vito Corleone. Today the Irish proved that we still run this city. Cheers explode through the bar. The Dagos thought they could move against us. They thought their monster Luca Brasi would protect them. Where is Brasi now? Where is his famous power? He could not stop us. He could not save his master. More cheers. More whiskey. Hell's Kitchen belongs to us. It always has. It always will. Let the Italians crawl back to their olive oil and their garlic. New York is Irish. The celebration continues through the night. On the Lower East Side, Giuseppe Mariposa receives the news in his office. His face shows nothing, but inside, satisfaction spreads like warm honey. His plan worked. The Irish eliminated Vito Corleone. No connection to Mariposa, no evidence, no witnesses. He will wait a respectable period. Then he will absorb the Corleone operations, take their territory, claim their alliances, become the undisputed boss of bosses. Everything is falling into place. At Bellevue Hospital, doctors work through the night. Vito Corleone lies on an operating table, 5 bullets extracted from his body, blood transfusions pumping into his veins. His heart stops twice. They bring him back twice. The surgeons give him a 10% chance of survival. His family gathers in the waiting room. Carmela prays. Sonny paces like a caged animal. Tom Hagen makes phone calls, coordinates the family's response. Luca Brasi stands outside the operating room. He has not moved in 6 hours. He does not eat, does not sit, does not speak. He waits. At 3 a.m, a doctor emerges. He is alive, barely. The next 48 hours will determine everything. The family breathes, but relief does not come. Not yet. 48 hours pass. Vito Corleone opens his eyes. The room is white, harsh light, the smell of disinfectant, tubes in his arms, machines beeping beside his bed. He is alive. Tom Hagen stands beside him. Luca Brasi fills the doorway. Vito's voice is weak, a whisper, but his eyes are clear, sharp, alive with something cold. He looks at Luca Brasi. One word. Everyone. Luca nods. No explanation needed. No questions asked. No mercy requested. Everyone. Every Irish shooter. Every man involved. Every person who planned, funded, or supported the attack. Everyone. Luca Brasi turns and walks out of the hospital room. His footsteps echo down the corridor. He pushes through the exit doors, steps into the cold morning air. The sun rises over New York City, and Luca Brasi begins to hunt. The first night belongs to the Donnelly brothers. Luca Brasi moves through Manhattan like a shadow. He does not rush. He does not make mistakes. He has done this many times before. The hunt is familiar, almost peaceful. The Donnelly brothers are cousins of the O'Rourkes. They helped plan the parade attack, provided weapons, scouted the route. Now they hide in a meatpacking plant on the west side. They believe the location is secret. They believe they are safe. They are wrong. Luca arrives at the plant after midnight. The building is dark. The smell of blood and cold flesh hangs in the air. Cattle carcasses swing from hooks in the main room. The floor is slick with water, and things best not examined. The Donnelly brothers wait in a back office, 2 of them, armed with shotguns. They have not slept in 2 days. Every sound makes them jump. Every shadow looks like death. The lights go out. Complete darkness fills the plant. The Donnelly brothers raise their weapons, point them at the door. Their breathing echoes in the silence. Nothing happens. Minutes pass. The darkness presses against them like a living thing. Then a sound. Behind them, where no door exists. They spin around, fire blindly. The shotgun blasts illuminate the room for a split second. Empty. Nothing there. More silence, more darkness. One of the brothers whispers. Maybe he is not here. Maybe we imagined. A hand closes around his throat. What happens next is quick, efficient, professional. When morning comes, dock workers discover the Donnelly brothers. The police report describes an industrial accident, equipment malfunction, tragic but not suspicious. No one believes the report. Everyone knows the truth. Luca Brasi has begun his work. The second night belongs to Ricky. Ricky was one of the shooters in the crowd. He fired twice at Vito Corleone's float. Missed both times. Now he runs. He leaves his apartment, moves to a boarding house in Queens, changes his name, grows a beard, stays inside during the day, only moves at night. It does not matter. Luca finds him within 48 hours. Ricky spots the shadow following him across a rooftop. He runs, jumps across alleys, scrambles up fire escapes. He knows Hell's Kitchen, knows every rooftop, every shortcut, every hiding place. He reaches a building on 43rd Street, climbs to the roof, looks back. No one there. He breathes, laughs nervously. Maybe he lost him. Maybe Brasi is not as good as they say. He turns around. Luca Brasi stands 3 feet away. Ricky never sees the next moment. 1 second he is on the roof. The next second he is falling. 5 stories. The ground rushes up to meet him. The police find his body in the morning. They rule it an accident. A man who had too much to drink, lost his balance, fell. The underworld knows better. 2 down, many more to go. The third night belongs to Billy. Billy is smarter than Ricky. He does not run, he hides. Finds a basement apartment in a tenement building, boards up the windows, buys enough food for a month, sits in the darkness with a pistol in his lap. He waits. Days pass. Nothing happens. Billy begins to relax. Maybe Brasi does not know where he is. Maybe he is safe after all. On the third night, Billy hears a sound. Not from the door, not from the windows, from inside the walls. Scratching, slow and deliberate, moving through the building's old pipes, getting closer. Billy raises his pistol, points it at the wall. The scratching stops. Silence. Billy's heart pounds. Sweat runs down his face. He does not blink, does not breathe. A cat jumps from behind a box. Billy nearly fires, catches himself, laughs shakily. Just a cat, just a stupid cat. He turns back toward the door. Luca Brasi stands in the center of the room. Billy never gets the chance to raise his pistol. The police find him the next morning. They say he fell from his window, 5th floor, tragic accident. No one believes them. 3 down. The fourth night belongs to Stevie Dwyer. Stevie was the best shooter among the Irish. He fired from the 3rd floor window. His bullet came closest to killing Vito Corleone. He carries a wound in his shoulder from the return fire. It still bleeds, still hurts. But the shoulder wound is the least of his problems. Stevie knows he is marked. He knows Luca Brasi will come for him. He decides to leave New York, take a train to Chicago, disappear into another city, start a new life. He packs a bag, counts his money, heads to Grand Central Station. The station is crowded. Hundreds of people rushing to catch trains. Stevie feels safe in the crowd. Anonymous, invisible. He buys a ticket. Platform 12. The train to Chicago leaves in 20 minutes. Stevie walks toward the platform. His shoulder throbs. His hands shake. Almost there. Almost free. He passes a janitor mopping the floor. Does not look twice. The janitor looks up. Luca Brasi's eyes meet Stevie Dwyer's eyes. Stevie runs. He pushes through the crowd, knocks over a woman with a suitcase, stumbles down a stairway, races through a maintenance corridor. Dead end. He turns, reaches for his pistol. Luca Brasi blocks the corridor. No hurry, no expression, just patience. Stevie fires. Once, twice, 3 times. The bullets hit nothing. Luca moves like smoke, like something not entirely human. Then he is close. Too close. Stevie Dwyer is never seen again. His body surfaces in the Hudson River 3 days later. Cause of death is listed as drowning. The case is closed within a week. 4 down. The 5th night belongs to Sean O'Rourke, the last of the O'Rourke brothers, the middle son, once the diplomat, now the last survivor of his family. Sean has not stopped drinking since the parade. Whiskey in the morning, whiskey at noon, whiskey until he passes out at night. He sees his brothers in his dreams. Willie, dead. Donnie, blind and broken. He hears their voices asking why he is still alive. He does not have an answer. Sean sits in the 10th Avenue bar, the same bar where Willie celebrated, the same bar where Peter Murray declared victory. Now it is empty. The other Irish soldiers have fled, gone to Boston, gone to Philadelphia, gone anywhere that is not New York. Sean remains. He is too tired to run, too drunk to care. The bar is dark. A single lamp burns behind the counter. Sean pours another whiskey. His hands barely work anymore. The front door opens. Cold air rushes in. Sean does not look up. Footsteps cross the wooden floor. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Sean takes another drink. Luca Brasi sits down across from him. For a long moment, neither man speaks. The lamp flickers. Shadows dance on the walls. Sean finally looks up. His eyes are red, empty, defeated. "I wondered when you would come." Luca says nothing. "My brothers are gone. My friends are gone. Everyone I knew is dead or running." Sean laughs bitterly. The great Irish gang of Hell's Kitchen, finished in a week. He pours 2 whiskies, slides one across the table. "Drink with me. Before you do it, one last drink between enemies." Luca does not touch the glass. Sean shrugs, drinks both whiskies himself. "We should never have taken that contract. Mariposa's money, Barzini's promises. We thought we were smart, we thought we were tough. He shakes his head. We were fools. He looks at Luca Brasi, really looks at him. You are not a man, are you? Men do not do what you do. Men do not move like you move. You are something else, something worse. Luca speaks for the first time. His voice is low, quiet, almost gentle. Your brother Willie. He called Don Corleone a Dago, good for nothing. He laughed. He celebrated. Sean closes his eyes. He knows what comes next. Don Corleone does not forget. Don Corleone does not forgive. Sean nods slowly. Accepts it. Then finish it. I am ready. Luca stands. Moves around the table. What happens next takes only moments. The bar on 10th Avenue closes permanently the following day. The owner claims financial troubles. The building is sold, demolished, replaced by apartments. Sean O'Rourke is never found. 5 down. 1 remains. The 6th night belongs to Peter Murray. Murray is the one who planned the parade attack, the one who took over after the O'Rourke brothers fell, the one who raised his glass and declared victory. He is also the one who tries to negotiate. 3 days after Sean O'Rourke disappears, Murray sends a message to the Corleone family, through intermediaries, through lawyers, through anyone who will listen. We can make peace, we can pay tribute, we can work for the Corleones, just stop the killing. Tom Hagen receives the message, brings it to Vito Corleone's hospital room. Vito listens. His wounds are healing, his strength is returning, but his eyes remain cold. There is no peace, Vito says. Tom Hagen delivers the response. Peter Murray tries to run, gets as far as New Jersey, rents a house in Newark, surrounds himself with armed guards, stays awake through the night. None of it matters. They find Murray in his car, parked in his own garage, the engine running, the doors locked from inside, no signs of struggle, no signs of forced entry. The police call it a tragic accident, carbon monoxide, a man who fell asleep in his car. The underworld calls it Luca Brasi. 6 down. All the shooters, all the planners, all the leaders. 1 man remains, Cor Gibson. The driver, the one who waited in the escape car, the one who never fired a shot. Cor sits in an empty bar in Brooklyn. He has been running for a week, moving from place to place, waiting for the end. The door opens. Luca Brasi enters. Cor does not run, does not reach for a weapon. He simply sits, pours 2 whiskeys, waits. Luca crosses the room, stands over the table. Cor looks up. His face shows no fear, only exhaustion. I was the driver. I never fired a shot. I never wanted any of this. Luca says nothing. Go ahead. Finish it. I have been dead since the parade anyway. A long silence fills the bar. Then Luca Brasi does something unexpected. He sits down. Cor blinks, confused. Luca speaks. His voice is calm, almost conversational. You live. Cor stares. Does not understand. Don Corleone has a message. You will deliver it. Cor swallows, nods slowly. What message? Tell everyone what happened here. Tell them about the O'Rourke brothers. Tell them about Peter Murray. Tell them what happens to those who attack the Corleone family. Luca leans forward. His eyes lock onto Cor's eyes. Tell them the Irish are finished. Tell them Vito Corleone remembers everything. Tell them never to mock the Godfather. Cor Gibson nods. His hands tremble. And if they ask who did this, if they ask who killed all those men, Luca Brasi stands, walks toward the door. They already know. He disappears into the night. Cor Gibson sits alone in the empty bar. The whiskey untouched before him, his hands will not stop shaking. He looks around the room, sees the shadows, sees the silence. He speaks to no one, to everyone, to the ghosts of men he once called friends. Ah, the Irish. We are a hopeless lot. Hell's Kitchen goes silent. The bars that once filled with Irish laughter now stand empty. The docks that once answered to the O'Rourke brothers now answer to no one. The streets that once belonged to Irish gangs now belong to ghosts. In 7 nights, Luca Brasi eliminated an entire organization. 12 men, all dead or vanished. 1 survivor left alive to tell the story. The neighborhood transforms almost overnight. Irish families begin to leave. They pack their belongings, load their children into cars, head north to Boston, west to Chicago, anywhere that is not New York, anywhere that is not Hell's Kitchen. They do not say goodbye. They do not explain. They simply disappear. The businesses change hands. Irish bars close their doors forever. Within weeks, Italian names appear on the storefronts. Grocery stores, bakeries, social clubs. The red, white, and green of Italy replaces the green of Ireland. Dock workers who once paid tribute to the O'Rourkes now pay tribute to the Corleones. The same docks, the same work, different masters. No one complains. No one resists. Everyone has heard the stories. Everyone knows what happens to those who cross the Godfather. On the Lower East Side, Giuseppe Mariposa receives the news in fragments. Each day brings worse reports. Another Irish soldier found dead. Another Irish leader vanished. The entire gang structure collapsing like a house built on sand. Mariposa sits in his office. The expensive furniture suddenly feels cheap. The armed guards suddenly feel useless. His plan has failed. The Irish were supposed to kill Vito Corleone. Instead, Vito Corleone survived, and now the Irish are extinct. Worse than the failure is what comes next. Mariposa knows the underworld will learn the truth. They will discover he funded the attack. They will realize he hired the O'Rourkes. His fingerprints are all over this disaster. Emilio Barzini visits the following week. The two men sit across from each other. The same crystal glasses, the same expensive wine, but the atmosphere has changed. Barzini speaks carefully. The other families are talking. They know about the Irish. They know someone funded the attack on Corleone. Mariposa's jaw tightens. They cannot prove anything. They do not need proof. They have suspicion. And suspicion is enough. Barzini leans forward. His voice drops. Corleone is stronger now than before the attack. He survived 5 bullets. His enemies are all dead. The other families see him as untouchable. Blessed. They are already shifting their allegiances. Mariposa slams his fist on the table. He is one man, one immigrant from some Sicilian village. I have ruled this city for 15 years. Barzini shakes his head slowly. You ruled. Past tense. The world is changing, and Vito Corleone is the future. The meeting ends without resolution. But both men know the truth. Giuseppe Mariposa's time is running out. At Bellevue Hospital, Vito Corleone grows stronger each day. The bullets damaged his body but not his mind. He cannot walk without assistance. His left arm hangs weaker than before. He will carry the wounds for the rest of his life, but his power has never been greater. Visitors arrive constantly. Politicians who once ignored him now wait hours for an audience. Judges who once refused his requests now offer their services freely. Police captains who once investigated him now provide protection. They bring flowers. They bring gifts. They bring promises of loyalty. We always supported you, Don Corleone. We never doubted you would recover. If there is anything we can do, anything at all. Vito receives them graciously. He remembers every name, notes every promise, files every debt away for future use. Tom Hagen manages the flood of visitors. He keeps records, schedules meetings, ensures that everyone who matters pays their respects. Clemenza and Tessio report on the family's operations. Business continues. The olive oil company runs smoothly. The gambling operations generate steady income. The union connections remain strong. The attack was supposed to destroy the Corleone family. Instead, it made them untouchable. The other crime families send representatives. One by one, they arrive at the hospital. They bring expensive gifts. They speak words of respect. The Tattaglia family sends a case of imported wine. The Stracci family sends flowers and a handwritten note. The Cuneo family sends cash in an envelope. Even the Barzini family sends a representative. The same Emilio Barzini who arranged the meeting with the Irish. He stands in Vito's hospital room, hat in hand, offering condolences. A terrible thing, Barzini says. Those Irish animals, acting without honor, without reason. Vito watches him carefully, says nothing. If there is anything my family can do to help, we stand with the Corleone family, now and always. Vito nods slowly, accepts the words, files them away. He knows Barzini was involved. He knows Mariposa funded the attack. He knows everything. But now is not the time for revenge. Now is the time for patience, for planning, for building. The time for revenge will come later. Luca Brasi stands in the corner of the hospital room throughout every visit. He does not speak, does not move, simply watches. His presence alone sends a message. The stories about Luca Brasi spread through the underworld like wildfire. Each retelling adds new details, new horrors, new impossibilities. He killed 12 men in 7 nights, alone. He tracked them across the city. They could not hide. They could not run. He is not human. He is something else, something from the old country, something that cannot be stopped. Young soldiers in other families refuse assignments against the Corleones. I will not go against Luca Brasi. Not for any money, not for any favor. Older men nod in agreement. They have heard the stories. They believe every word. Luca Brasi has become more than a man. He has become a legend, a monster that protects Vito Corleone, a weapon that no enemy can survive, and everyone knows the truth. You do not attack the Godfather. You do not mock the Godfather. You do not even speak against the Godfather, because if you do, Luca Brasi will come for you, and Luca Brasi never stops. Cor Gibson keeps his promise. He leaves New York 3 days after his meeting with Luca Brasi, takes a train to Boston, finds a room in a boarding house near the waterfront. He tells the story everywhere he goes, in bars, in social clubs, on the docks where Irish workers gather. The O'Rourke brothers are dead. Peter Murray is dead. Everyone who attacked Vito Corleone is dead. Men lean closer. Listen carefully. There was one man, Luca Brasi. He hunted them like animals, found them wherever they hid, killed them one by one. Eyes widen. Drinks are forgotten. I am the only one left. He let me live to tell you what happened, to warn you. Cor Gibson's voice drops to a whisper. Never cross Vito Corleone. Never mock him. Never underestimate him. Because if you do, he will send Luca Brasi, and Luca Brasi does not stop until everyone is dead. The story spreads from Boston to Philadelphia, from Philadelphia to Chicago, from Chicago to every city where Italian and Irish communities share the streets. The lesson is clear. The Irish gang that controlled Hell's Kitchen for 20 years was destroyed in a single week. Their leaders eliminated, their soldiers scattered, their territory absorbed. And it only took one man, one monster, one loyal soldier who served the Godfather without question. 6 weeks after the parade attack, Vito Corleone leaves the hospital. He walks slowly, uses a cane. His wife Carmela holds his arm. His children surround him. His soldiers form a protective ring. A car waits outside, black, polished, expensive. Vito pauses before getting in, looks up at the sky, breathes the spring air. He has survived. His enemies have not. The war with the Irish is over, but a larger war is coming. Giuseppe Mariposa still lives, still controls territory, still believes he can stop the Corleone rise. Mariposa is wrong. Vito Corleone enters the car. The door closes. The vehicle pulls away from the hospital. Behind him, Hell's Kitchen adjusts to its new reality. Italian businesses thrive. Irish influence fades. The old order crumbles. And in the shadows, Luca Brasi watches, waits, ready for whatever comes next. The Godfather has returned. 3 years pass. By 1937, the world Vito Corleone once entered as a frightened orphan boy belongs to him. The pacification of New York is complete. Vito Corleone has systematically eliminated every threat to his power, every rival, every enemy, every man who ever stood in his way. The Black Hand extortionists, who once terrorized Italian immigrants, are gone, eliminated or absorbed into legitimate operations. The freelance loan sharks who preyed on desperate families have disappeared. The independent bookmakers who refused to pay tribute have found new professions or found graves. Giuseppe Mariposa is dead. The man who funded the Irish attack. The man who believed he could destroy Vito Corleone. The man who called himself boss of bosses. He fell during the Olive Oil War of 1934. His organization crumbled. His allies abandoned him. His soldiers switched sides. In the end, he died alone, forgotten, a footnote in someone else's story. The 5 families now rule New York. Vito Corleone sits at the head of the table. His family is the most powerful. His word is law. The other bosses defer to his judgment, seek his approval, fear his displeasure. Emilio Barzini controls Midtown. He survived by switching allegiances at the right moment. He pretends loyalty to Corleone. But Vito knows the truth. Vito remembers the warehouse meeting. Vito remembers Barzini's role in the Irish conspiracy. The debt remains unpaid. For now, Philip Tartaglia controls Brooklyn. His family runs the narcotics trade that Vito refuses to touch. They coexist. uneasily. The peace holds because Vito allows it to hold. Carmine Cuneo controls Hell's Kitchen, the same neighborhood where the O'Rourke brothers once ruled, the same streets where Irish gangs once collected tribute. Now Italian flags hang from the windows. Italian music plays in the social clubs. Italian children play in the streets. The Irish are a memory, a warning, a story told to remind people what happens to those who challenge the Godfather. Victor Strachey controls New Jersey. He stays quiet, pays his respects, causes no trouble. He has seen what happens to those who cause trouble. The commission meets regularly. Disputes are settled peacefully. Territory is divided fairly. Business continues without interruption. This is the world Vito Corleone built, not through violence alone, through patience, through planning, through understanding that true power comes from respect, not fear. But fear has its place, and Luca Brasi remains the source of that fear. 20 years will pass. Luca Brasi will stand beside Vito Corleone through every challenge, every threat, every moment of danger. He becomes more than an enforcer. He becomes a symbol, a promise, a guarantee that anyone who moves against the Corleone family will face consequences beyond imagination. Young men across New York grow up hearing the stories. Luca Brasi killed 12 Irishmen in 7 nights. Luca Brasi cannot be stopped, cannot be bought, cannot be reasoned with. Luca Brasi serves only one man, the Godfather. Mothers use his name to frighten children into obedience. Enemies use his name to explain why they never challenged the Corleones. Friends use his name to explain why the Corleone family always wins. The man himself says nothing, does nothing, simply exists, a shadow behind the throne, a monster on a leash held by only one hand. Vito Corleone's hand. Cor Gibson lives out his remaining years in Boston. He works on the docks, keeps his head down, drinks less than he used to, speaks carefully about the past. But sometimes, late at night, young Irish men gather around him in waterfront bars. They buy him whiskey. They ask questions. Tell us about New York, old man. Tell us about the O'Rourke brothers. Tell us what really happened. Cor Gibson stares into his glass. The amber liquid reflects the dim light. His hands no longer shake. He made peace with his memories long ago. The O'Rourkes were my friends, he says. Willie, Sean, Donnie, good men, tough men. They built something in Hell's Kitchen. For 20 years, nobody could touch them. The young men lean closer, hungry for stories of Irish glory. What happened to them? Cor takes a long drink, sets the glass down slowly. They made a mistake. What mistake? They mocked the wrong man. Silence falls over the table. The young men wait. There was an Italian, Vito Corleone. They called him a Dago, good for nothing. They laughed at his olive oil business. They took money to kill him. Cor's eyes grow distant, seeing things that happened decades ago. They shot him 5 times at a parade. 5 bullets. Any other man would have died. But he lived? He lived. And then he sent someone after us. Who? Cor Gibson looks at the young men. Really looks at them. Sees their confidence, their arrogance, their belief that they are tough enough to handle anything. He sees the O'Rourke brothers, young again, full of swagger, full of certainty. Luca Brasi. The name hangs in the air. Even in Boston, even decades later, the name carries weight. I watched him destroy everything. Every man who touched that contract, every man who fired a shot, every man who helped plan the attack. Gone, all of them, in 7 nights. The young men shift uncomfortably. The stories they heard as children suddenly feel very real. Why did he let you live? Cor finishes his whiskey, stands slowly. His bones ache, his years weigh heavy. To tell you what I am telling you now, to make sure the lesson is never forgotten. He puts on his coat, heads for the door. One of the young men calls after him. What lesson, old man? What are we supposed to learn? Cor Gibson stops, turns. His eyes carry the weight of everything he has seen, everything he has survived, everything he can never forget. Never mock the Godfather. Never underestimate him. Never think you are smarter or tougher or faster, because you are not. Nobody is. He opens the door. Cold Boston air rushes in. The O'Rourkes controlled Hell's Kitchen for 20 years. Vito Corleone took it in 7 nights. That is not luck. That is not muscle. That is not money. He steps into the darkness. That is the Godfather. The door closes behind him. The young men sit in silence. Their whiskey grows warm. Their confidence grows cold. Outside, Cor Gibson walks along the waterfront, the same walk he has taken 1,000 times. The harbour lights reflect on the black water, ships creak against their moorings. He thinks about Willie O'Rourke raising a glass in that 10th Avenue bar. He thinks about Sean O'Rourke waiting alone for Luca Brasi to come. He thinks about Donnie O'Rourke staring at nothing with eyes that could no longer see. He thinks about all the men who laughed at Vito Corleone. None of them are laughing now. Cor Gibson speaks to the empty night, to the ghosts, to the memory of friends long dead. Ah, the Irish, we were a hopeless lot. The wind carries his words away. Somewhere in New York, Vito Corleone sits in his study, his empire secure, his enemies defeated, his family protected. Somewhere in the shadows, Luca Brasi watches, waits, ready. The Godfather remembers everything. The Godfather forgives nothing. And anyone who forgets that lesson will learn it the same way the Irish learned it. The hard way, the only way, the Corleone way.